Police on the scene of a shooting in downtown Nassau. We've got the latest.
The new Riviera Creek celebrates a milestone. We're there for the fireworks and a lot more.
Plus buzzer beaters, close games round out day 4 of the Hugh Campbell basketball tournament. Some teams head home.
And a celebration of love with R. Kelly in town. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Breaking news off the top tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kendino Knowles.
Good Friday evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Well, former police commissioner Kenneth Bonhomie has died. He was 67. Bonhomie, a native of Cat Island, served as the 3rd police commissioner in an independent Bahamas.
The news comes as a shocker to many in the community, but especially the Royal Bahamas Police Force, which today issued a statement calling the retired commissioner's loss regrettable. According to the police force, Commissioner Bonhomie enlisted on June 17, 1963, and served with distinction for 38 years. Bonhomie rose from the rank of constable to the prestigious position of Commissioner of Police, an office the police force says he dutifully held for 14 years during the period 1987 to 2001. This milestone makes Commissioner Bonhomie the longest-serving commissioner in an independent Bahamas.
Well, during his career, Commissioner Bonhomie received numerous awards and honors. In 1985, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II bestowed the Lieutenant of the Victorian Order on Mr. Bonhomie, and in 2000, he received the Queen's Police Medal. It is also notable that Mr. Bonhomie's son, BK Jr., now holds the rank of Assistant Superintendent and serves as second in charge of the Central Division. The police force, through its statement, extended condolences to Mr. Bonhomie's wife, Shirley, his children, and the entire family. Well, a thoroughfare in the heart of downtown came to a standstill today. This
as a police officer who was trying to maintain law and order found himself in a chase throughout the city. 10 o'clock in the morning on Frederick Street near the Prince George Wharf. The yellow crime scene tape was still visible while police officers heavily patrolled the vicinity. Eyewitnesses told us that a man who was reportedly driving a vehicle knocked down a police officer who was on patrol in the area on a bicycle. When the police officer recovered and tried to stop the motorist, sources say the man then allegedly attempted to disobey the officer's instructions and flee the scene. Police sources tell us that other officers were called in, and that's when an alleged chase began. The chase, we understand, ended on Cockburn Street, adjacent to the St. Agnes Anglican Church and the Southern Recreation Grounds. Police tell us the man stopped the car and fell out in the middle of the road, and we understand he has received medical attention while in police custody. Now, police inspected every inch of the Honda vehicle, license number SD2713. It was evident something happened because the car's front windshield sustained damage and a hole, possibly from a gunshot, was seen on the back window door. While we try to obtain more details, we can tell you that an active investigation into this incident continues. Well, still on police news this Friday, police are asking for your help tonight in finding 2 men responsible for an armed robbery outside a business establishment on West Bay Street. The incident reportedly occurred shortly before 6 o'clock this morning. Preliminary reports indicate that a security officer, along with a visitor, was at a business establishment on West Bay Street when they were reportedly approached by 2 dark men, allegedly armed with high-powered weapons. The culprits reportedly robbed the security officer of his cell phone as well as the visitor of a cell phone, watch, and an iPad, and then fled the area on foot in an unknown direction.
Well, the country's next Riviera celebrating a significant milestone last evening, the topping off of Baha Mar's new casino and hotel. It's the tallest structure of the multi-billion-dollar resort development.
And as Andrew Knowles tells us, the topping off represents the halfway mark in the resort's construction phase and the addition of some new alliances. He's joining us right now live in studio. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Alto. Exactly 2 years ago, officials broke ground on the multi-billion-dollar Baha Mar development. Fast forward to today, and now they've reached the 25th floor of construction on the iconic casino and hotel tower. And as you can imagine, resort officials marked the occasion in grand style.
The future is bright for Baha Mar, and we're ready to fly away.
The Baha Mar development is a mammoth undertaking. In fact, it's unprecedented in its scope. But Chairman and CEO Sakis Esmerilian says reaching the midway point demonstrates meaningful and sustained progress.
Baha Mar has been kept on time and on budget through the diligent work of China State Construction, their team, and nearly 400 locally owned firms who have put almost 2,000 Bahamians to work already. Side by side, restoring the beautiful beach, building new roads, creating a new golf course, or working on these beautiful buildings above us.
And with 22 months left before its opening, the resort is still drawing more exceptional international brands, like UK-based ESPA, which will operate its 33,000 square foot spa.
They currently operate over 350 spas, most exclusive spas, in more than 55 countries around the globe.
Baha Mar's president Tom Dunlap also announced alliances with the National Art Gallery, the Bahamas Foundation, and the Don Davies Collection to showcase Bahamian artwork throughout the property. Global music icon and Bahamian celebrity Lenny Kravitz is also on board.
It gives me enormous pleasure to announce that Letty has agreed to a multi-project collaboration with Baha Mar, starting with the involvement of his design firm, Kravitz Design, in the design of our Ultra Villa, the largest and most magnificent villa in our casino hotel, as well as our nightclub.
Esmerilian admits the biggest challenge will be delivering consistent world-class service, a critical component to the success of the billion-dollar development. That's why Prime Minister Perry Christie says training is absolutely vital.
There is no shortcuts to this. Either we are going to be the best in the world, or we're not going to succeed.
Equally important is the cooperative relationship between the developers and the government. While Christie lamented disagreements between he and Esmerilian, he appealed for them to work together for the future success of the project.
Now is the time, and this is the call I make this afternoon, to ensure that you and Perry Christie have a relationship that will enable us to cut through some things that happen on these sites that shouldn't, and that will prove to be to the enduring benefit of the Esmerilian family and to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now, in unique Baha Mar fashion, resort officials topped off the hotel by placing an original painting of a tree on top of the building. And of course, what better way to top off a grand evening by adding a touch of glamour to the night skies through fireworks.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. Well, now that Baha Mar has reached the halfway mark in its construction, that means government has yet another obligation to fulfill. And that's getting the markets of the world to start their bookings ahead of the billion-dollar resort's December 2014 opening, as stipulated in the Heads of Agreement. Prime Minister Christie says it means government will now have to invest a significant amount in marketing.
I'm not going to call it now, but I'm going to have to begin the process in the next budget in May and June, where we're going to have to find the money to put in to begin to conform with the obligation that we have in the agreement, and therefore the country, as it did with the roadways, will increasingly have a direct commitment in the success of this enterprise.
With high-end international brands like Rosewood, the Mondrian, and Grand Hyatt as anchors comes a massive client base, which will contribute to the arrival of visitors. But Tourism Minister Obi Wilgrim says the country has to intensify its marketing efforts in order to tap into different markets.
We used to focus very heavily on North America, but now our markets extend beyond North America. We have to think about what we're going to do in Latin America, think about what we're going to do in Europe and Asia, because we're moving very quickly toward ensuring that we can have the visa waived to allow for more of the Asian visitors to come to our country. Because as long as that stands as an obstacle, it limits the numbers that we can get into the Bahamas. And don't forget, we're going to require at least 400,000 more seats to ensure that this hotel and the property generally has high occupancy levels.
Meanwhile, resort officials also announced the formation of Baha Mar's Foundation called Believe. Baha Mar's chairman and CEO, Sarkis Million, revealed that the resort will commit $1 million before its opening day to ensure the foundation is off to a strong start. The foundation will foster greater culture and community development.
It did not take long to find which causes our team members were most passionate about. We want to strengthen their community through education and health initiatives. We have a desire to show the world the talent and sophistication of our Bahamian culture. We want to protect the ocean and the landscapes that make this country a natural paradise. And so Believe will now build upon the work our team members are already doing in their community, from running marathons to support cancer research, recycling rebar, re-nourishing our beaches, to supporting the arts and mentoring young people.
Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis also attended the topping off ceremony. While he was impressed with the event and pleased with the development's progress, Dr. Minnis did express concern over training and ensuring Bahamians are prepared for this new frontier.
I don't want us to be caught in a situation where we were not trained properly for it. And you know that they would be looking at different markets, not necessarily American. They're looking at the Asian market, you'll be looking at South American market, and therefore we must prepare ourselves for that. And I urge Bahamians to take advantage of it. And I would encourage Baha Mar to ensure that over the next 2 years or so that we are prepared for it.
In our first look at weather, daytime temperatures are rising, but outside of our studios just now, we have a temperature of 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies, your relative humidity at 79%, east-southeast winds at 7 knots, barometric pressure 1,018.7 millibars. That's 30.08 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned. Family Island temperatures, boating and travel forecast is still to come.
School board members show up their skills today.
And buzzer beaters plentiful at the Hugh Campbell basketball tournament. Highlights coming up as well. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited, fueling growth for people.